What's up, guys? So for today, that's right, I made it 2 levels through with Dale, and we did end up meeting Hoger, and you'll see throughout the video what goes on in that location. I mean, guys, it's like crowded as hell. Speaking of crowded, so I'm just in this Brackwell pumpkin patch, the one that's like right next to the mining area that I started out the series with. And it's just like this pumpkin patch that I feel no one should be around, but just because of the sheer number of people like leveling on this server, I dealt with like a lot of competition, and it was hard enough because this fucking quest that I'm dealing with, the one that you can see, it says red linen goods on the top there, I just needed 6 bandanas, right? But the drop rate was so low, right? And man, it was kind of a nuisance because there was so much competition. It was hard to tag mobs, man. Second they spawned, someone would be on them. If it wasn't me, then someone else would be there. So I had to be on my toes here. And also I had to deal with like a server disconnection, which happened for the actual first time, at least for me, like leveling with Dale. I haven't experienced a server disconnection yet, but there it is. It happened. And yeah, this is just, I skipped right to logging back on, and the competition had dumbed down just a bit, which helped, a good deal. Yeah, I can't, as you can see, I couldn't really handle like too many mobs at once, but that's vanilla in a nutshell for you. Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, I don't really mind the fact that some of these quests are very low drop chance, and that there's so much competition, because, I mean, that's vanilla for you, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I mean, I did end up getting a nice weapon, so I know that, oh yeah, and I'm helping someone else out on this princess quest. That's kind of a fun thing. So I got this two-hander, and it was a green, and I'm about to get it from this chest here. Yeah, I was like, yeah, shit. Good stuff. So I got that, and it's 7 DPS. It's awesome. I had to work my skill up a little bit here, but that helped me out a great deal. So I managed later, after finishing up this quest, I got a red shirt. It makes me look sexy as hell, I'll just tell you guys now. So be warned, don't shield your eyes, because it's gonna get a little erotic in this place. The red shirt that I'm about to wear with Dale, it's real attractive, I'll just say that. But yeah, I obviously I managed to level up to 10, but from 8, I didn't obtain my extra abilities yet. So what I did manage to get later on in this episode is Heroic Strike rank 2, and I think it's what the hell, Hamstring rank 1. So I obtained those, and I don't use Hamstring enough. In fact, I don't really use I think it's called Thunderclap. I don't use that enough. I feel like I should use it more, Thunderclap, at least when I'm surrounded by other various mobs. But I'm often just attacking one at a time, so yeah, I don't really use it that often. I should utilize Rend a little more, maybe. I don't know. I kind of use it a lot. Whatever the case, got those 2 abilities, and that was cool. Don't use Hamstring, really, but I feel like I should at some point. It's going to get important. Man, yeah, I had some close calls on this episode. I did end up dying at a certain point. I think that can kind of be expected, though. I mean, it is vanilla after all. I wonder if I can go an episode without dying. I'll make that a challenge for myself next time around. But, yeah, I mean, of course, I finally reached Hoger, but before I mention that, so I got to that area, right? and someone had whispered me, and we'll see it throughout the episode, but someone had talked to me about how they saw like the YouTube video or whatever, this series. And I thought that was really cool. Like, if you guys are ever online while Dale's online, send me a tell. That'd be awesome. I love to hear from my viewers. Because it's so foreign to me. This idea that people actually enjoy my videos. I don't mean to sound as depressing as possible there, but you know what I'm saying. Just not used to all this. But whatever the case, I mean, the competition on this server, even though there was a server disconnect, the competition was unreal. Sorry about this. Okay. It was crazy, guys. I mean, I'll just say that, like, once I hit, like, the area by which Hoger, surrounds. Okay, yes, I finally fucking finished this quest. Yeah, that was a victory for me. I was like, yeah, buddy. Yeah, I always find myself kind of going in the wrong direction first, before turning in quests. I'm like, I probably should go this way. I start walking that way, looking vanilla guide, and then I'm like, this is not the right way to go. Yeah, so my bags were full here. It's not such a bad thing. People often suggest, like, to keep your, like, white items and, certain consumables and all that. I keep the consumables and, like, cloth and stuff, because they say, like, a good amount of the gold that you could potentially get could come from the auction house, and just selling whites, like, especially greens, of course, on the auction house. It gets you up there, and it allows for you to get the abilities you need as you level up, assuming that you don't have the gold for it. But yeah, here's the way more than it needs to be attractive shirt that I'm wearing. And I ended up selling the recruits shirt, I think it's called. The one that, dwarves, or just, some of these races get, like, from the beginning. Got a copper for it, so come on, guys. That's a straight up deal, I'll tell you. So as we head over to, what am I doing? Okay, so I'm just turning in quests, but this will soon lead to, the area where Hoger is. But as we head over there, I wanted to talk about what I'm looking forward to, because that's always something I feel is really, fun to talk about. Alright, so I'm looking forward to, I know I mentioned Dead Mines, but the gear you get from it, of course I mentioned before, but you get some blues, and I of course got my first green in this episode. If in the next couple of episodes I manage to get into Dead Mines, get a blue, that would be awesome, Be fucking down for that, man. Also, tanking. I haven't yet tanked in this series. I know it's like episode 3, it's not really a stretch, but I want to do that. I want to see how proficient I am. Okay, so as I want you guys to realize, see, as I'm walking through this area, there are so many dead Riverpaw, like, outrunners and whatever the other aliases are. Look at this area, guys. This is where Hoger spawns. That's where Hoger spawns. I know it's kind of quick because it's sped up, but you could tell. You could tell there are so many people here. And I kind of predicted it, that, like, the area around Goldtooth wouldn't be so crowded. And look at this. And people tell me, like, this is not the peak hour, It's actually Sunday, I think, where someone said this in, I think, one of the comments of one of the previous episodes, but Sunday, where it's like morning for the US, kind of evening for UK. On that day is when, like, the majority of people are online. So just imagine, with queues of like 600, I'm told, just about, imagine the amount of people that would be around this area. And this is Hoger, guys. I mean, like, you know, Hoger's pretty well known, but I mean, still, I mean, there are points of interest that go way above as far as, you know, the amount of people that are attracted to, like, such a area. I don't know. I might be kind of saying this in a strange kind of way, as I often do with many of... I don't know. I don't want to get sidetracked here, but whatever the case, you know, Hoger is a point of interest, sure, but definitely not one of the major ones in all of vanilla. So, you know, I mean, just as an example, like outside of like Onyxia's lair, like there's usually like a shit ton of people around. It's usually from raiders like waiting to get in and stuff. But I mean, that's usually where like a lot of people tend to migrate towards. But I don't know. You know, I'm looking forward to live streaming. So I haven't done it yet with Kronos, but I mean that would be awesome. Okay, so I hit level 10, so that was cool. And yeah, I mean I'm looking forward to live streaming, but I probably won't be able to do it until summer hits, which for me is going to be in about 3.5 weeks from now. So, you know, that's coming up. It's coming up pretty soon. So, I mean, hopefully you guys are on board with such a thing, because I feel like I'm a little more attached to my viewers, I guess, if I'm kind of like chatting with them at the same time as playing and stuff. Obviously, I'd speed up the footage later and all that. So I'd probably, dub over and have a conversation like I'm doing now. But if I could, like, kind of live stream a process and have you guys join me along that journey, that would be cool. Even if it's just like 2 or 3 of you, because that's kind of what I expect. I don't mind, because it's some camaraderie right there, I'll tell you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to like showing you guys what I can do as far as being a tank, and I don't know. I'm not really out of practice. I mean, I did a good deal at tanking as I was leveling up with my character on Nostalrius, and I mean, I feel as though I'm somewhat proficient, but who knows? I could be fucking terrible, next time around. But kind of as just like a random thing to be looking forward to, rare mobs. Sometimes they kind of patrol certain areas, like notably in like Westfall. Sometimes you'll see like some of those harvest golems, or like I think there's a rare harvest golem and like a rare buzzard. It's like a gray and red buzzard or some shit. I don't know, whatever the case. That, and also like in Duskwood, I know he's not rare, he's actually elite, I think, but Stitches, because they took Stitches out in some of the later expansions, man. And I was like, well, fuck. I mean, I love Stitches, even though he's a pain in the ass sometimes. I mean, he's so cool. I mean, he's like the first abomination in World of Warcraft that you're introduced to, and they just, they took him out. It gives you that an even further sense of danger when you pass some like monstrous fucking creature like that, because like that's his look is kind of conducive to the type of creatures that come out of like Naxxramas and stuff, So it's like, I don't know, there's just some sort of connection there that I feel was lost when they got rid of Stitches, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully he isn't too much of a bother. But I wanted to talk about with Kronos how they have like, well, I guess this is kind of just like a general statement, like on vanilla in general. Yeah, it is that there are like exclusive classes per faction, right? So The Alliance has paladins, which is awesome because they're like, I think, one of the better healers. But same goes for shamans on the Horde side. I think shamans are actually just like only used for healing when it comes to raiding, you know. But I've seen footage on both ends where you have like your paladin healers. They can't really tank too well, like at least for end game content, you know, in vanilla. I know in Wrath of the Lich King, like they're solid tanks. I know that because I partially, I guess I kind of somewhat mained a paladin in Wrath of the Lich King, and yeah, I went with protection, and that was really fun. I also like healing, but you know, here I am. You know, I'm just going through this process, leveling up a warrior. I mean, it's obviously one of the harder classes to level up with, but so here. By the way, I just want to give you some context as to what's going on. If you guys don't already know, I'm set up with a group to take out Hoger, and they're saying like, oh man, like it's a long wait. We've been here for like 10 minutes, and people get in groups, and they kind of like leave to kill mobs, do other quests, and then they come back to see if Hoger's around. So we're one of the groups that are just sticking around, like waiting for the guy, and he's coming up soon. Yeah, that spasm there. I have to say, I'm sorry, but that was my friend. He took control. And I was like, great. Okay, so we got Hoger, as if you could tell from like the few seconds of footage that he was alive. Yeah, so that was cool. Gonna get some nice gear from this quest. I don't end up turning in the quest this episode because I have to go back to Goldshire, and I didn't quite do that yet. My hearth wasn't ready. Oh, so this is where it cuts off. Yeah, I always have to kind of end it abruptly. Sorry about that, but alright guys, hope you enjoyed. We'll be doing this soon. Again, of course. See you guys.